Hello. We've been talking about Jesus and the way he went around the countryside telling people about God's love and healing people. And he would go to an area and groups of people would come into him and he would spend time with them and then he would move on to the next place. Well, back in Jesus' day, they didn't have cars or trucks or buses, or if you were lucky, you might have a donkey, but usually you just walked everywhere you went. But sometimes, if Jesus was going from one side of the Sea of Galilee to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, they would get into one of the fishing boats and they would travel across that way. And that's what happened in today's story. He had finished with a group of people, and so he and his disciples got into a boat and they started across the Sea of Galilee to the other side. Now he was very tired, and the Bible says that Jesus actually went down into the to the bottom of the ship or the boat, and he went to sleep, and which was great. The disciples were fishermen, some of them, and so they knew what they were doing, and they headed on across the Sea of Galilee. But something unusual happened that particular day. There was a storm. Now, these were fishermen, some of them, and they knew how to handle a storm. They were used to being on the water when it would rain and wind would blow and all these things would happen. But this particular day, it was really, really bad. The sky was dark and the winds were strong and the waves were blowing up over. They were coming into the ship and bringing water into the boat, and the boat was getting water into it. And it was raining and thundering and lightning, and they were afraid. Think about that. But they were afraid. And so finally, they went down to where Jesus was. And they woke him up. And they said, Jesus, do you not care that we're going to die? The water is coming into the boat and we're going to sink and die. And Jesus woke up and he got up. He probably shook his head at them and said, where is your faith? And the Bible says that Jesus went and he stood up and he reached his arms out and he said, peace, be still. And immediately the wind stopped and the rain stopped and the thunder and lightning stopped. The clouds went away and the sun came up, and the water, which had been just going everywhere, was calm and peaceful. And he looked at the disciples and he said, where's your faith? Where is your faith? The Bible says that the disciples talked amongst themselves and said, what kind of man is this, that even the winds and the ocean or the sea obey his voice? Well, we know that from other stories in the Bible that Jesus was part of creation. He made the sun and the moon and the stars and the sky and the oceans and the seas, and he causes the rain to fall and the winds to blow and the seasons to come and go, and he is in control of all things. So this is a story to remember. Sometimes at night, if it's a storm and you're kind of afraid because you're in bed by yourself, remember Jesus is in control of all things. And he watches after us, and he protects us, and he loves us, and he's powerful. I hope you enjoyed the story. Have a wonderful week. Take care. Goodbye.